Happy Monday, everybody. It's the 20th day of August, 2018. It's a Monday. Wake Up in Ncw Valley is back on the air. Thanks for starting your week here with us on the Ncw Live Channel. Dane Kuntz, your host, Steve Hare. Our news director to my immediate left, Kat, in control, and somewhere behind Steve is the Ncw Valley. Ugh.
Isn't that ugly?
Oh, it's not pretty.
No, and it's not healthy either.
Oh, it was really bad yesterday afternoon, and it's not going to get any better, it doesn't look like, for the next few days anyway. We have an air quality alert until at least Tuesday. I'm almost certain that the Department of Ecology is going to extend that through at least Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. It's just not very pretty. We got fires locally, the big one, the Cougar Creek fire. They got fires up in British Columbia, and the high pressure ridge, which is off the Pacific Ocean, is spinning clockwise. That's what they do. And the winds in the upper elevation, 4,000 or 5,000 feet, spinning around, grabbing all that smoke from British Columbia and sending it right down over the state of Washington. The whole state is in bad air shape.
Yeah.
The air is simply unfit to breathe. There's no other way to put it.
No, it's hazardous. It's just the stuff that's contained in that smoke is very dangerous and toxic. So any prolonged exposure to these types of weather conditions is going to cause some health problems for you folks. So, hey, limit your outdoor activities, definitely.
Even indoor activities can be a problem, and I bring that up because I went shopping yesterday afternoon during the absolute worst of this gunk. And you go into larger stores whose doors are always opening and closing. And I went into a local store, and there was a layer of haze at the ceiling inside the store. You looked up, and it was like, it was lucky.
Yeah, I only ventured out once, I think, this weekend. Saturday was a little bit of a reprieve, but Sunday
it
was
didn't
terrible.
last very long. We have the 3-day graph to show you what happened between Saturday, between 11 a.m. and 1 o'clock is very dramatic. We went from okay air to hazardous air in about 90 minutes. You're going to see this, and you're going to
Here's how bad it is. Eric Granstrom actually had to go to L.A. to get clean air.
Yeah, go figure. Oh, my. Speaking of Eric Granstrom in Los Angeles, Seahawks, of course, had a preseason game on Saturday night against the Chargers. Eric was there. He'll file a report. Mariners took one on the chin yesterday from the Dodgers. We don't have highlights because they charge for those, but we'll talk about that anyway. Congratulations to the Wenatchee Valley Rams, champions of the Western Washington Football Alliance. They move on to the national semifinals. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. We also have the obscure holiday. Today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Winati's opinion. And my guests in the second half of the show, Kenzie English from CASA and Tessa Maximenko from the YMCA. They are combining forces for a fundraiser coming up in October. We're going to plant that seed now. They came in on Friday to pre-record their interview, and we'll get to that in the back half of the hour. Of course, you have the latest news, including the latest from the Cougar Creek fire, which has been dominating our news, actually, for the last few weeks, outside of the air quality. The big story today is the air quality. It just stinks. We're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes as far as the latest readings are concerned. But let's take you around what we can see with North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, and that's it. There you go. That's the cross camera.
That's it.
Yeah.
Boy, that's pitiful.
That's as bad as I think I can remember it since September of 2012. The big difference between now and September of 2012, we had to deal with hazardous air for 3 weeks of nonstop gunk. We're not there yet, but we're working on week number 2.
Very close to it.
Of this nonsense. By the way, happy anniversary to the Cougar Creek fire. It is 24 days old today. I wish it would go away.
Also received word yesterday that it's the anniversary of the firefighter deaths, too, up in the Twisp area. It's
also the anniversary of the Big Burn. We'll talk about that when we get today in history, the worst wildfire in this country's history.
The 1910 fire?
1910, yeah, this is the anniversary.
Wallace fire.
There's a better shot anyway, but not much. That's from the roof of the Cascadian. The Coast Hotel is to your right. You can make out Bob's Classic down there, the roof of it, and the American Legion Hall. That's about all. That's the lowest camera we have, and even that doesn't look particularly good. That's just lucky. Ugh. Once again, the air, by the way, is hazardous and has been since about 1 o'clock on Saturday. It's been that long. Camera 3, what do you think we got, Kat? We're going to take a nice little look at the Apple Annie's camera. We're trying to find cameras that we can actually see something. And that would be an example of that. We call that the Apple Annie's camera because that's basically on the bluff right above Apple Annie's. The
Cashmere area?
Cashmere area there. So beautiful Cashmere. Can't quite make out the Riverside Center. You can kind of sort of make out Cashmere. Good morning, Kashmir. They do not have an air monitor station in Kashmir. They do have a portable one that they brought in plane. They might do that. I wouldn't be surprised if the Department of Ecology brings one in and sets it up in Kashmir.
By the way, just a little reminder, folks, for your morning commute, good idea to keep those running lights on in the car because visibility, definitely an issue while the morning commute is going on today.
And camera number 4, we say hello to, I don't know, Leavenworth?
Tumwater.
That's the Tumwater, so that's somewhere down there is Leavenworth. Good morning, Leavenworth. I'm not too concerned about how this blucky, lousy, unbreathable air is affecting tourism in Leavenworth because there's lots of indoor things to do in Leavenworth. But this has got to be killing Chelan. This has got to be killing Chelan.
We got to call it Smoke-ageddon. How's that?
Oh, geez. I feel so sorry for those businesses up in Chelan that depend
well, the
on tourists.
The entire Chelan County tourist industry.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Leavenworth, I mean, obviously they're being affected by the smoke as well. So it's not good for tourism.
I'm sure they've had people call up hotel reservations left and right and canceling them. I would be amazed. People say, let's go vacation in Chelan, where the air is actually worse than Wenatchee's. Let's take a look at your air quality. We'll start out with the state map. Again, dark purple, bad. And there's a lot of bad out there. Look at Spokane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hazardous in Spokane.
Look at the Puget Sound.
Yeah, Puget Sound. At least it's getting better. Now, they're going to have some pretty lousy air as well until about Tuesday afternoon and into Wednesday. As far as we're concerned, it's just going to be blucky. That's just all there is to it. It is hazardous, the areas in Leavenworth and Quincy and Spokane and Twisp and Winthrop. That's Wenatchee's reading,
right
396, which is hazardous. We were up in the 470s yesterday afternoon. Now, normally, as we're going to show the 3-day graph, when the evening comes, it dips down. It didn't. Look at that. You see how it gets all the way down into yellow? That was Saturday morning, Steve.
Yeah.
And then very dramatically, starting about noon Saturday till about 2 o'clock, it just got really bad. We popped up into the hazardous level on Saturday afternoon late, and that is where we have been. That is your 3-day graph for the Wenatchee air quality. But believe it or not, Chelan's is even worse. Right now, Chelan is at 417 on the scale. That is hazardous, and there you go, 417 on the WAQA value. That is Chelan. That's on Wooden Avenue is where they have their air monitoring station. And Chelan's 3-day is not particularly good either. Take a look at this. That's what and look at that. Look at yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Good golly. And it only goes to 500.
No, it was paid out.
So
I've got to say too, folks, that well, Saturday actually I went out doing some shopping and stopped in at the East Wenatchee Confluence Health Clinic, their little satellite clinic there. And right up there on the counter, they've got a box full of little masks there, and they just say, help yourself to as many as you need. So make use of those, folks. In fact, I wouldn't venture outside in this stuff unless you're wearing one of those masks, because you can filter out all those bad stuff that is floating around right now.
I would not be surprised at all if there's any kind of pre-scheduled outdoor activities that are going to be canceled or moved indoors.
The Wenatchee School District has done that.
The Close for the Classroom event on Saturday was moved indoors for the first time because the air was so bad.
Football practice was in the gymnasium.
They're in the gymnasiums. Yeah, no doubt about that. Band camp is going on. The award-winning Wenatchee High School Golden Apple Marching Band hosts a camp all this week. Where are they going to find the room to put everybody? We got volleyball, and you got football, and you got band camp, and you got soccer. Girls soccer is a fall sport. They got to practice. They got to get their practices in before the season starts. My guess is the gyms will be bulging at the seams.
I would imagine so.
That's
a lot of dodgeball.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of dodgeball.
Let's take a look at your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. And once again, we're going to back off on some of these high temperatures. They were predicting yesterday on Sunday we would get to 91, Steve. We only got to 81. Again, because this heavy smoke and the haze and the gawk in the air is keeping the rays from the sun to make it down. Yeah, it is a little muggy.
The relative humidity is up there too, so that's
let me look at that right now. 59% is our relative humidity outside of our studios. Hazy, smoky, 89, I don't know, I wouldn't bet on it. The wind coming right out of the north and blowing down to the south, 7 to 11 miles an hour. That's where we're getting all the smoke from these fires in British Columbia. Very little wind tonight, northeast wind about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Overnight low 65, probably a little cooler than that. 90 Wednesday, again, smoky, hazy, smoky, hazy, smoky, hazy through at least Wednesday night. We're holding out hope that things might change a little bit on Thursday and Friday. The air quality alert goes until Tuesday, but they're going to extend that. I can almost guarantee you that. And once again, the air is unfit to breathe. It is hazardous in the Wenatchee Valley, hazardous in Chelan, Leavenworth, Quincy, Spokane, Twisp, Winthrop, you name it. It's just really, really bad air.
We're holding out hope, folks, that we may see a little relief by the end of the work week.
Maybe. I'm not going to go that far. We're just hoping so. And one more little weather item to get to, Steve, before we turn it over to you in the news. Sunrise and sunset. This morning, sunrise 6:04, sunset 8:03. By the time we get to the end of this week, sunset will be before 8 o'clock. A friendly reminder that
If
summer,
you can even see it.
yeah, that summer is
Yesterday
slipping.
was a little orange orb up
Yeah.
there in the sky. Yeah.
It's not pretty. It is 10 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick one-minute break. When we come back, Steve Hare will have your Monday morning headlines in the news on this Monday, brought to you by our friends at Cascade Medical. Trained with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. The NCW District Fair takes place this Wednesday the 22nd through Sunday the 26th. It's all happening at the Waterville Fairgrounds. The Wenatchee Wine and Food Festival is this Saturday night at the Town Toyota Center. This wine competition typically draws over 200 entries from North Central Washington wineries. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome back to the program. Here's what's happening around North Central Washington on this Monday, August 20th. First of all, level 1 evacuations are now in place for residents in the Chumstick Valley. They're playing as crews battling the Cougar Creek fire prepare for changing weather pattern. The forecast for today, as you heard Dan mention earlier, calls for winds to shift out of the east and northeast, and that's going to push that fire in a westerly direction toward the Chumstick Valley and the Plain area. So that's why they've initiated new level 1 restrictions for the western flank of that fire. Over the weekend, crews worked on the fire's southern edge from the Sugarloaf Lookout area to Gold Ridge. They're continuing to prepare that area for low-intensity burnout operations that will continue when conditions allow. Contingency lines are also being prepared from the fire's western edge north towards the Lost Fire with mechanical equipment, chipping, and some dozer lines. Crews will continue to mop up, hold, and patrol a contained fire edge in the Entiat Valley, as well as use some aircraft to prevent fire growth around Grandma Creek. A surge of stronger winds from the east-northeast combined with lower relative humidity pushed weather concerns into the critical category on Saturday. A red flag warning is in effect through tonight. The fire is 35% contained. It's grown to about 37,000 acres of forest land. A community meeting, by the way, is scheduled for tonight. More information shared with the community in that meeting, scheduled for tonight at 6 o'clock at the Plain Community Church. Statewide now, we saw 18 new wildfires over the weekend, bringing the year-to-date total, according to the DNR, up to 1,122 wildfires on over 295,000 acres in Washington state. More than 3,500 firefighters are working the blaze right now. On the Cougar Creek fire alone, we have over 1,000 firefighters. Arriving flights at SeaTac Airport were delayed more than 2 hours Sunday by thick wildfire smoke that settled into western Washington. Shortly after 9 o'clock last night, the FAA reported that the ground delays were over and incoming flights could resume landing as scheduled. Always a good idea, folks, to check with your airline before making an airport run, and that holds true for flights out of Pangbourne. Although they're getting out of Pangbourne, obviously the delays were on the SeaTac side of things, so that can affect your travel times and trips accordingly. Also, a Cougar Creek fire crew member was injured Saturday morning after a water tender he was driving crashed and rolled over on Forest Service Road 6101. That's in the lower Chihuahua Creek area. Emergency responders extracted the driver from the crash site. He was then transported to Central Washington Hospital, where he was reportedly recovering. He was awake and apparently in good spirits. A Grant County Sheriff's deputy escaped unhurt when his patrol car was struck by a motorhome near George. State troopers say it happened on I-90 near milepost 160. The deputy was westbound when a 26-foot RV driven by an Auburn man attempted an illegal U-turn and crossed the center line. The RV driver was not injured but was cited for making an illegal U-turn. And finally, a little instruction for our viewers this morning, courtesy of Grant County Fire District 13. In fact, they've released an instructional video of the brush fire that damaged structures in the Soap Lake area earlier this week. The video demonstrates how fast a fire can move from wildland to a structure. A constant assessment of structure protection occurs as the fire line grows. Now, this video shows a small portion of the incident, which firefighters are engaged with on many fronts. A very crucial part of ensuring other structures don't become involved is what's called an anchor point. Now, that ensures additional fire does not reignite behind firefighters and spread uncontrollably towards structures or jeopardize their own safety. Now, this video shows 2 brush truck crews anchoring a portion of the fire while protecting one structure and saving another. It's important to note that the 2 brush trucks were the 3rd and 4th trucks on the scene after they responded from Ephrata at the request of Fire District 7. A little bit of instruction for you there on how they fight those wildfires, because it's a lot more complex than just jumping out there and throwing water on a fire.
And it should be pointed out, and there is a bit of a myth and misconception, they're still looking at, mid-September for containment on the Cougar Creek fire?
September 15th, it's 35% contained right now.
So containment is one thing, out is something else altogether.
Yeah.
Containment means it's not going to get any bigger and it'll just burn in on itself, and they have the fence around it, a metaphorical fence, if you will, and then it just burns itself out. It's not going to go out until the first significant rains or even snow.
Until the snows arrive, and even then, sometimes those fires burn right into the snags of those tree roots, and they can last all winter and then reflare up the following spring.
And as Steve mentioned before, we're keeping our fingers crossed that some of this air can get scoured out by Wednesday or Thursday, especially Thursday. The Ncw Fair begins Thursday morning in Waterville, and the last thing they need is that.
Yeah.
They really don't need that.
Well, it's not healthy for the show animals either.
No, it's not healthy for anybody.
Livestock,
Yeah, if you breathe air, it ain't good. That's as simple as that. So
it's affecting my tomato crop too.
Is it really?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what it's doing to the apple crop.
Yeah.
Not getting the sunshine they need.
Come on, Mother Nature, scour this stuff out. Give us some rain.
Yeah, a little
wouldn't that be
moisture
great?
would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's absolutely no rain at all in the forecast, I'm afraid.
Thunderstorms possible, though, I would imagine.
Way off to the east in the Idaho Panhandle and down in the Walla Walla area, they had a little passing rain. We got nothing going on here. High pressure is large and in charge, so you're going to have to deal with this, folks, for a while. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10, three chances to watch the news here on the Ncw Live Channel on television. You can also watch it on demand on our website right around 5 o'clock and on our Facebook page, again, right around 5 o'clock. And if you think there's something going on out there that warrants our attention, get a hold of us. We try to make it as easy as possible. Steve, please do the honors.
A lot of the stories that we air here on NCW Live News are generated by you, the viewers, and you can do it any number of ways. You can contact us on our website at ncwlife.com by clicking the little tab at the top of the page that says Contact Us. Pretty simple. Also on our social media through Facebook and Twitter, we have stories that we're always linking to our website on Facebook, and certainly we would like to entice you into that conversation as well on our social media sites. You can write to us via email. Our address is news@ncwlife.com, and as always, our breaking news hotline is available. If you see news happening, call 888-6295.
Sports is right around the corner. The Wenatchee Valley Rams, last year at this time, were thinking about disbanding. Now they're the Western Washington Football Alliance champions, and they're moving on to Salt Lake City coming up in mid-September. Sports is right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Ncw Live Channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncw Live Channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Live News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter And like us on
where
Facebook.
we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live Channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Welcome back. 21 minutes after the hour on this Monday, 59 degrees outside of our studios. High today, upper 80s. Once again, widespread smoke, widespread haze, and the air quality is in the hazardous zone for most of north central Washington and is going to stay there for quite some time. Let's do sports. Wenatchee Valley Rams, they're the champions of the Western Washington Football Alliance. The Rams beat the Tri-City Rage Saturday night at Memorial Stadium in Renton. The final was 30-24 to claim the trophy, and there it is. Good-looking piece of hardware there, isn't it? Mickey White and his team are still undefeated after Saturday's win. Next up, a national semifinal game. That's a bunch of happy football players right there. Come the middle of September, September 15th in Salt Lake City, Utah, the Rams will take on the Wasatch Revolution. We'll have more details on that, by the way, on the NCW Live Channel. Well, our local semi-pro team in Wenatchee seems to have it all figured out, but the professional team based in Seattle, they still got some work to do. Eric Granstrom was with the Seahawks in Carson City, California on Saturday night, and he filed this report.
Well, the Seahawks fall to 0-2 on the preseason, dropping one on the road on Saturday night here in Carson City, California, to the Chargers by a final of 24-14. We got a good look at the offense's first team for both teams throughout most of that first half. Russell Wilson looked pretty good while he was in there. He finished 13 of 21 for 193 yards. No touchdowns on the night. It'd be Magoo to throw a touchdown in the late fourth quarter stages that made it close in the end, but the Hawks could not overcome mistakes on the night, something that they certainly want to improve upon before they take on the Vikings here next week. Seahawks with 6 penalties, 50 yards on the night, and one of them that was just so costly came in the first quarter. Chris Carson rips off a 23-yard, looked like touchdown run, but it was called back for a hold. Also, Chris Carson with a mistake at the goal line as it looked like he was going to take it in from a foot out, but then he drops the football, and the Chargers come up with it. So 24-14, the final on Saturday night here at the StubHub Center. Hawks are now 0-2 on the preseason and will travel to Minnesota coming up this week. Here at the StubHub Center in Carson, California, I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCW Live Channel.
Thank you very much, Eric. Mariner baseball, Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers just beat up on the Mariners yesterday afternoon at the safe. The final was 12-1. Ouch. Kershaw struck out 7. He allowed just 1 run on 4 hits in 7 innings of work. Meanwhile, the Dodger bats gave him an early lead. They scored 5 runs in the first inning off Seattle starter Roenis Elias. Justin Turner led the day offensively for LA. He went 4 for 5, 3-run home run, 5 ribbies. Manager Scott Service says that's not the way you like to start a game against a good opponent.
No, certainly not the way we hoped the ball game would go. Obviously with a spot start with Elias today and knowing we're going to have to go to our bullpen, you just want to stay in the game competitively and hopefully get a chance, to do something late in the game. But really got behind the 8 ball right away, giving up 5 in the first, and it was going to be a challenge. But I didn't think Elias usually goes out there and really competes and just lets it fly and takes his chances, and you didn't really see that today in the first inning. He was, mound presence and kind of what you're looking for to get the game off to a good start. He didn't have it today, and when you get behind early like that to a really good club over there, it can get ugly, and it was not a good ball game.
Mariners dropped 2 of 3 to the Dodgers over the weekend and now trail Oakland by 3.5 games for the final wild card spot in the American League. Now, the Mariners are going to try to right the ship tonight. The Astros are in town, first of a 3-game series, and guess who's starting tonight? King Felix. Felix Hernandez, Garrett Cole will toe the rubber for the Astros. Les Schwab scoreboard, the rest of the American League West anyway, on Sunday. After winning the first 2 games of the series, Oakland had a chance to take over first place all by themselves. in the division, but Justin Verlander had something else to say about that. Verlander picked up his 200th career win. Houston beats the A's 9-4. And rough Ned Odor's 3-run home run in the 7th during a rain-soaked Sunday in Texas helped the Rangers beat the Angels. The final there was 4-2. And that's sports at 25 minutes after the hour. It's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. This is the only one that crossed my desk, which is odd because this is like a Thanksgiving, Christmas kind of holiday treat. Talking about chocolate pecan pie day. That's today. I guess you don't have to wait for the holiday season to enjoy a chocolate pecan pie. Pecans are very good for you, and then we destroy what's good for it by putting chocolate and sugar and all that stuff on the pie. Pecans are native to Mexico and the southern United States. They are some of the healthiest nuts out there. Pecans, good source of protein, magnesium. There are lots of antioxidants in pecans. They lower the risk of heart disease, lower the risk of some form of cancer. So eat yourself a chocolate pecan pie today. And by the way, pecans are not nuts. They're something else, but I don't have time to explain that to you. Happy chocolate pecan pie day today. That does look good, doesn't it? Today in history, we talked about this during the news. Today is the 108th anniversary of the Big Burn, the big blow up, the Great Fire of 1910, whatever you want to call it. Northeast Washington, the entire Idaho Panhandle, and western Montana burned. 3 million acres, 4,700 square miles. The burn was the size of the state of Connecticut. A bunch of little fires is what was going on all the way to June and July and into August. There were about 2,000 little fires burning all over the area from, sparks coming off of locomotives and hot cinders and lightning, that kind of stuff. Just a bunch of little fires. And then on August 20th, a very strong cold front blew in with hurricane force winds, and all these little bitty fires became 2 ginormous fires. It was simply impossible to fight. There were not enough resources. There were not enough firefighters. 87 people died in the big blow up or the big burn, and almost all of them were firefighters. It happened on the state 108 years ago. Not good at all. 98 years ago, happy birthday to the National Football League. It was organized as the American Professional Football Conference. So happy 98th birthday to the NFL. Only 2 teams of the original NFL are still in the league. The Decatur Staleys, who are now the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Cardinals, who are now the Arizona Cardinals, are the only 2 founding members who still play in the NFL. And finally, on this date, 49 years ago today, John Paul, George, and Ringo, all 4 members of the Beatles, recorded together in the studio for the very last time. They were working on the album Abbey Road. They finished the John Lennon song, I Want You, She's So Heavy. There were subsequent mixing sessions and recording sessions for both the Abbey Road album and the Let It Be album, but at no time past this date were all 4 Beatles together in the studios. This was the last time on this date, 49 years ago today, that all 4 members of the Beatles worked together in the studio. And finally, at 28 minutes after the hour, we got some birthdays. One historic birthday. We always do the presidential birthdays. The 23rd president of the United States, Benjamin Harrison, was born in the state in 1833, died at the age of 67 in 1901. Fun facts about Ben Harrison. His wife died while he was president, and he later married his late wife's niece, who was 25 years younger than he was. Benjamin Harrison was the first president to have his voice recorded. 6 states, including Washington State, joined the Union during his 4-year term in office. That's more than any other president. That's rather remarkable. And he was also the very first president to have electricity in the White House, but he didn't use it. They were just a little scared of electricity, Ben Harrison was, so he just, even though they had electricity and light switches, he just did without. Benjamin Harrison, born in the state in 1833. Robert Plant, lead singer of Led Zeppelin, of course, 70 years old today. People still want a Led Zeppelin reunion, get back together again. 3 of the 4 members are still alive, but Robert Plant wants nothing to do with that. He says, I'm happy. Let's let things lie as they are. We had a great run for 10 years in the 70s. We're done. Robert Plant, 70 years old today. And life is good for Amy Adams. She's 44 years old today. Very talented actress. In fact, last year, she was the highest grossing actress in Hollywood. In other words, her movies made more money than any other movies. Amy Adams is 44 years old today. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. That's right around the corner. And then my conversation taped previously, we did this on Friday, Ncw English. There it is. Ncw English dropped by along with Tessa Maximenko, Ncw English from CASA, Tessa Maximenko from the YMCA. They're getting together to hike for a cause. Coming up in October, that conversation right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the Ncw Live Channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Auditions for Holiday Spice are this Thursday at the Numerica Performing Arts Center at 6:30 p.m. Holiday Spice is a Wenatchee Festival of Trees community-based holiday variety show benefiting the PAC. Woodstock Anniversary Concert Fundraiser is this Saturday at Watson's Alpenhorn Cafe in Chelan. Enjoy live music, food, silent auction, and wine at this family-friendly event. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
You can buy fruit almost anywhere. From first off the tree to first in your hands, Lone Pine offers seasonal fruit from their farm and around the region every day. Make Lone Pine your latte stop with coffee from Blue Star Coffee Roasters and a fresh piece of fruit pie. Take a break with a friend and order a cold micro beer or a glass of Northwest wine. Bring the whole family and enjoy a Lone Pine lunch or a fresh shake in their park-like setting. Lone Pine Fruit and Espresso on Highway 97.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. Get your back-to-school favorites from Macy's, Marshall's, Ross, Hot Topic, Zoomies, and the Children's Place. No matter the age, Wenatchee Valley Mall is ready to fulfill all your back-to-school needs. Check out their website for current hot deals. From head to toe for the very latest in trends, start your school shopping tradition at Wenatchee Valley Mall.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop? I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Yield Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I was talking with a liberal the other day who was bemoaning the foils of Donald Trump. Now, suddenly, though, she said, is this how you conservatives felt about Barack Obama? Well, duh. It is amazing to me that people of opposing political views can't begin to accept that there are political views diametrically opposed to theirs that in the perception of others have great merits, or at least some merit. Of course, though, Trump is an idiot. Well, actually, he's not. And therefore, it's okay to hate him. And Obama did ruin this country. Oh, no, actually, he didn't. So it's okay to hate him. This is how people think. Now, sorry, folks. Just because someone doesn't agree with you politically doesn't make them wrong. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Lake Chelan Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Chelan Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
Vominos junk haulers, big or small, they haul it all. Vominos junk haulers are experienced at hauling junk from your household items to yard and construction debris. That old hot tub and eyesore, Vominos, will make it Vominos. Recycling is a priority to Vominos junk haulers. They'll haul away your old appliances and electronics. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vominos Junk Haulers also rents trucks and trailers. Call Vominos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
And we are back on Waking Up Wenatchee Valley here at the Ncw Live Channel. And this show specifically, we are huge fans of CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates. We've had Director Sue Baker on the show many, many times. Kenzie English has been on the show many, many times. We're also big fans of the YMCA. And by golly, we put them both together in the melting pot because these two fine organizations are getting together come October for a unique and fun fundraiser. And welcome to the program. You know the gal to my immediate left, Kenzie English, no stranger to this program. And making her television debut is Tessa, I don't want to screw this up, Tessa Maximenko.
Yes,
Yay!
correct.
I got it. Tessa Maximenko, who's the Director of Youth Programs at the YMCA. And you're a first-timer, Tessa, so before we get into the meat and potatoes, a little something about yourself.
Yes, I'm very excited to be in Wenatchee. I moved here pretty recently. I've been here for a year now. I moved from Indiana for this position. Dory and Katrine at the YMCA kind of snatched me up. So I moved out here in July of last year, and I've been so happy here ever since.
What's the difference between Wenatchee and Indiana?
Where I grew up in Indiana is definitely a small farming community, even though Wenatchee is a larger farming community. I think Wenatchee's a bit more open-minded and welcoming. Wenatchee has definitely grabbed me, and I've been hooked ever since. It doesn't exactly let go of you.
Did you know anything about our little hamlet, our little valley before you took the job? Did you do any kind of research?
I didn't, and actually when I moved here I was expecting the Seattle, the West Side feel. When I moved out here it was on fire. So after 3 days of driving to Washington, I'm expecting evergreens and lush forests, and I move out and it's literally a desert on fire. So I'm crying in my car out here thinking, did I make the right decision? Did I make the right decision? And I did. I certainly did.
Good. What does the Director of Youth Programs at the YMCA do? What's your day-to-day activities?
Day-to-day, I work a little bit with the kids and a lot with the staff. I do a lot of curriculum planning. We have numerous programs that run sometimes seasonally and some throughout the year. So I work with the staff to help those programs run year-round.
And it's fun to work at a hopping place, isn't it? Because the Y is a hopping place. There's people coming in and out. You got the kids doing their programs, people working out, people swimming, playing racquetball. It's a beehive of activity, isn't it? And it's fun to work in that kind of atmosphere, isn't it?
It is. There's always a new face, and there's also a lot of old familiar ones too. So it's a nice blend. And when the kids get a little tiring, I can certainly have that unique aspect to go and then work with adults and then work with the other staff and other members in the building.
Hi, Kenzie.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Off camera, I asked Kenzie, how are things at CASA? And she says, we're really busy. And I said, that sucks, because it sucks when you're busy.
Yes.
We want you, like Jessica Johnson at Sage, I want you unemployed. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen. Court-appointed special advocates, they do tremendous work. You guys have been on the show before. You still dealing with about 200 cases the last I talked to you guys? Right
yeah,
around
we
there?
have a case increase in the last few weeks, which is very unfortunate. But we have 8 new CASAs that are going to get sworn in on Monday. So we did a special summer training, and then our next training starts in October, and we are already looking for more volunteers.
Okay. So. Again, we got to get Kenzie out of a job. Let's move ahead to October 13th. We were talking about this also. CASA, of course, is a nonprofit, and it's always really hard to think of something new and exciting that hasn't been done before to raise awareness, to raise money for CASA, and in this case, you've teamed up with the Wenatchee Valley YMCA, and you've come up with a really unique idea, Hike for a Cause, and this was your idea? You can take credit for it.
At CASA, we were looking for a new fundraising kind of platform because we do our rock and roll bowl-a-thon. And so we thought, how do we combine our year-round donors with our bowl-a-thon, and what can we do? So we found a new fundraising platform called Flip Cause. And I was looking for other organizations around the country that used Flip Cause because I wanted to reach out and see what their experience was like. And I saw something like this from another organization somewhere in another state and said, wow, this would be really cool here because we have such an outdoor community. We have lots of places to hike. So I brought it up to another one of our staff members who was doing the Meant to Be program at the YMCA at the time and transitioning that. And she said, why don't we partner with the YMCA and form this great partnership, raise funds for both organizations, and use both of our bases of people to have a little fun day in the valley.
It's perfect. I mean, as you mentioned before, there's the Hike for a Cause logo. Every community has a golf course, to have the golf tournament to raise money, and every community has this, that, and the other thing that most communities have. Very few communities have the kind of trail system that we have that just lends itself to this kind of deal. My guess is Southern Indiana doesn't have anything like this topography-wise,
no.
Right?
Not exactly.
So you two got together and started to hash out ideas. How did this marriage between CASA and the Y come together?
Heather Baker and I were at a summit thing for nonprofits, and Dory Foster was there from the Y, and so we approached her with the idea, and she said, great, set up a meeting. And then she said, we can get Tessa on board and Brogan from the Y, and then we all got together, and the rest was history.
And this is all, it's going to be, by the way, on October 13th, which is, what day of the week is that?
Saturday.
Saturday, good. I see a lot of sponsors here. You got a Merit Group on board. You want to thank your sponsors now before you forget?
We certainly would.
You want the cheat sheet?
Yeah, no, I have one on myself, but thank you. We do want to thank our gold sponsor, which is Merit Group. We have our silver sponsor, Molina Healthcare. Bronze sponsors are Coordinated Care. Our corporate sponsors, Children's Dentistry, and our prize sponsors are Windermere Real Estate, and we also have several doctors that have been sponsoring us as well.
5,000 steps for 5,000 kids. Please explain.
So between CASA and the YMCA, we serve approximately 5,000 kids total throughout the entire year. And so we thought, hike for a cause, you're hiking, you're taking steps. Why not put the two together? So part of the 5,000 steps is we will give pedometers, and there will be a little kiddie hike. And so the kids can get pledges for their steps and then have a pedometer to say, I got pledges for 100 steps, I'm gonna take 100 steps. And we're not gonna record and mark people down if they don't get all their steps, but it's just kind of a fun, interactive way to include the 5,000 kids piece into that.
And you decided to do it up the Saddle Rock Trailhead as opposed to Riverfront Park or anything. Why Saddle Rock? Because there's a lot of places to hike, and Saddle Rock can be a bit of a workout. Why did you choose Saddle Rock as your location for this?
We chose Saddle Rock because it's a staple in the community. Everyone knows Saddle Rock, or at least most people know Saddle Rock. People come from out of town to hike Saddle Rock. It's a nice place to gather. They have a new trailhead, and so it just kind of fit for what we wanted to do.
And it should be pointed out that Saddle Rock is iconic. There's no question about that. This is something that nobody's done before in this way, right? I mean, they have fun runs and they have these little goofy walks sometimes. Not goofy, that's all for good cause. But it's always held down at Riverfront Park. Nobody's ever done anything like this. How much homework did it take? Were there any nonprofits that you called up and said, "This is our idea. Can you help us out at all?" Or are you just going to wing this and hope it goes okay?
Well, Kenzie has done a lot of the legwork with CASA as well. So she's been in touch with a couple others, but she has actually been doing a lot of this independently. She she has done things like this before with fundraising efforts, and she works a lot with other community partners. So I think this was something that's fairly easy for her just because it's in such her scope of abilities. She's quite capable. So she's been leading this way ever since she created the idea. One of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we kind of get across to our valley is why we're doing this, and I think all the work that Kinsey has done has supported both of them. And the first reason is to raise awareness, because not a lot of people know what CASA is and does, and even though the Y has a bit bigger of a name, there's still a lot of people in the valley that don't know what we do either. So her efforts in this have been to help raise awareness, and then both of our efforts have been to help people in the valley help each other. So we really wanted to foster an event that created that, that started creating some preemptive care and concern for other people in the valley. Other people know that children need help, children are struggling, families need help, families aren't always in the best position, but what can they do to help? So this event is a way to help them understand where other families and other children, where their needs are, but to help them care and concern for them. Rather than CASA being the only nonprofit, or rather than Y being the only nonprofit, we wanted to help build the support in the community for people caring for one another.
Tessa speaks highly of you, Kinsey. I'm getting that message. I have a feeling about that. This is a perfect marriage between CASA and the Y. Have you two organizations done anything like this before?
I don't think
recall
so off the top of my head.
We've done nothing like this.
It's such an obviously good idea. You think it would have happened before, you know?
Yeah.
So this is great
It's definitely
stuff.
been a good partnership, though. We have a lot of different talents throughout both organizations, and so it's been nice that Tessa has a lot of connections in the community with maybe people that have younger kid programs, whereas at our office, Heather Baker does a lot of the organizing side of things, and we're both contacting sponsors, but then getting out into the schools and promoting it there, and then making sure that both organizations are working to promote the event together.
Is there still room for sponsors? I mean, there is.
Definitely.
Okay. Get a hold of you, Kinsey, at CASA and say,
Yeah,
I'm
you
in for...
can get a hold of either CASA or the YMCA and ask for either of us.
Kinsey English at CASA is a good person to go to, or Dory Foster with the YMCA.
Okay. Hike for a Cause, 5,000. Has anybody actually hiked it with the pedometer and figure out, or with the little, what's it called again?
The pedometer.
Oh, I said it correctly.
Yeah.
Has anybody actually gone from the trailhead up to Saddle Rock and counted the steps with a pedometer, so you know it's about 5,000? Or?
No, but it's just about a mile, maybe a little bit more up, and then a mile back down, and a mile is approximately 5,000 steps, a little bit more. So that's kind of where that came into.
What do people, if they say, I want to help CASA, I want to help the Y, I'm in, what do they do?
So you can either go to the CASA website or the YMCA website to register, and you can register as an individual or as a team, and you get actually donations to sponsor you to hike. And so family and friends can sponsor you $5, $10, $1 to hike, and then all that money goes to CASA and the YMCA.
What else comes with your deal? Is there like a little lunch or anything involved like that, or are you just that kind of deal, or are you still working on some of the details? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Of course. We have prizes for our top sponsored hikes, so it can be an individual or a group as well. We'll also have prizes for most creative hikes. So there is an opportunity to have some fun, show your spirits. We welcome costumes. We welcome that. We work with kids. So we're all kinds of crazy.
It's supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be fun.
And we do have goodie bags for every participant as well.
Cool. I hope this works, because the only thing, something that's being done for the first time as a fundraiser, there's always the unknown. You know, there's always the unknown. But with you two ladies getting this, I'm confident this is going to go off with just no problems at all. No bells and whistles. This will be great. October 13th, Saturday, October 13th, at the Saddle Rock Trailhead. The hike goes from 12 noon to 4 o'clock. You can show up earlier or later, it doesn't matter. You can hike it here. It's not a competition. You know, it's all to help out CASA and the Y. And can we have you in again to talk about this one more time before we get close to it, all right?
Of course, we'd appreciate that.
Cool.
And then just so you know too, for the kids,
Please.
say there's a 5-year-old that wants to hike but doesn't necessarily have the stamina to go all the way up, there is a little, what I call kiddie trail. And so we're gonna have a little kiddie hike and some kids activities as well. So it's not just for adults, but kids can participate too.
One last question before we cut you loose, because Tessa, you're a first-timer, pretty busy this summer at the Y in the youth programs. It's summertime, kids aren't going to school. My guess is you've been busy.
quite busy. This summer we've been lucky to be outside for a little longer than last year, but now with the smoke we're indoors. And we're very fortunate actually to have our kids at the Y. With the gym, with the fitness center, with the pool, we're fortunate to be able to use our facilities. So the smoke has kept us indoors, but we've been able to still have fun, and we're looking for another great last week of summer next week.
And it should be pointed out as we transition from summer to fall, if you have a kid who would really benefit from the youth programs at the Y, and there's a ton of them, they have all kinds of different grants and scholarships and stuff. You don't have to be loaded with money. They'll figure out a way. You guys have always done that.
We will. Partners with Youth has been a wonderful effort. We raise almost $200,000 every year to help kids participate.
All right, so we'll have you in one more time, all right? Fair enough?
Good.
Cool. Tessa, welcome to the Valley, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tessa and Kenzie and Dan, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up in Ncw Valley on the NCW Live Channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home, too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Live Channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.
The NCW Live Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live Channel is your local TV station.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. The NCW District Fair takes place this Wednesday the 22nd through Sunday the 26th. It's all happening at the Waterville Fairgrounds. The Wenatchee Wine and Food Festival is this Saturday night at the Town Toyota Center. This wine competition typically draws over 200 entries from North Central Washington wineries. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
And welcome back. Here we're live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee. Dan Kuntz alongside Steve Hare, our news director, wrapping a big old bow on this Monday and getting ready to go out and conquer another work week with lucky in the air.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, deal with it.
Yeah. It's not going to get any better for the near future. The air quality alert, as issued by the Department of Ecology, goes through at least Tuesday. They're going to extend this. I can almost guarantee you that.
By the way, I just finished watching the morning briefing on the Cougar Creek fire. They are now posting that as a video now on Facebook at their Facebook page, and we just shared that to our Facebook page at NCW Life. So check it out. Apparently, right now they're looking at focusing their suppression efforts on that western flank of the fire. And as you can see here, that is the flank that is threatening the Chumstick Valley right now. So they're concentrating their efforts right now in building containment on that western edge of the fire today in advance of what's expected to be kind of an east windy day. Those winds are going to be pushing towards the west out of the east-northeast, so that's going to be a problem. And yesterday, added to that problem, because of the hazy skies, they could not get any aircraft in over that fire. So that was a problem as well. So most of the work's being done, just that grunt work, you know, guys on the ground building containment hand lines, and those are the guys that really are in charge right now of putting this fire out. There's over 1,000 firefighters right now manning the lines on the Cougar Creek fire, and they're from all over the state and the Northwest. So good luck and stay safe out there.
Miserable, hot, stinky work. And these are firefighters. You can't go out and fight a fire in shorts and a t-shirt. You got to have the special pants and the heavy boots and the heavy jacket, and you got to carry a lot of gear. It's just not.
And having to breathe this air can't be very healthy for the firefighters either. So please use care, folks.
And of course, as Steve mentioned, you can't do bucket drops and retardant drops if you can't see the fire, and they can't see the fire right now. You can't see much of anything over north central Washington. Anywhere you go, almost everywhere, you're going to deal with hazardous air. There's, again, the state map. If it's dark purple, if it's deep purple air, that's bad. It's hazardous in Leavenworth and Quincy and Spokane and Twisp and Winthrop and down south in the Tri-Cities, and Yakima's not looking real good either. Again, the vast majority of this is either the local fires, as Steve mentioned, the Cougar Creek fire, and there are numerous fires in central British Columbia, and the winds are blowing that smoke down towards us. So in addition to our local fires, we still have these fires going on up in British Columbia, which means our air quality sucks. Here is the latest. Now, this is actually a little bit better. An hour ago when we started this show, it was at 396. This is Wenatchee, by the way, the Wenatchee Valley. So it's gone down 3, which just doesn't mean much of anything. You're better off sticking your face in a chimney at this point. It is still hazardous. It's still very, very hazardous in the Wenatchee Valley. In the 3-day graph, we'll show you that. Just look what happened on Saturday afternoon. That's what happened in a very brief period of time. In a matter of just a couple of hours, we went from almost breathable air to hazardous, and that is where we have been since Saturday about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're going to stay there for a while. Chelan right now is getting a little bit better. Actually, no, it's a little worse. Well, that's not. Ignore the little thing to your left. Just go with the 418, which is pretty much where it was an hour ago. This is in Chelan. And once again, Chelan has been dealing with some pretty lousy air over the last 3 days. They had a little window of opportunity, as you can see, on Saturday morning. That's when it dipped all the way down, and then it just rapidly climbed up. And they almost got to 500, and that's the top of the scale. There isn't like a 501, to my knowledge.
It's pegged out at 500.
Yeah. They almost got to 500 up in Chelan on yesterday afternoon, and they're going to be dealing with some really, really lousy air. Indeed, everybody is going to have to deal with this for at least probably Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. Outdoor activities, there isn't any. At least any organized outdoor activities are going to be moved inside.
I don't know if you watched the Mariner game on TV yesterday, but there was a little bit of a haze I noticed there at Safeco Field as well.
And they're playing tonight.
Yeah.
They got Houston coming into town. I wonder if they're going to have people not go to the game because of the air quality.
Interesting.
So
I don't think it's going to affect the game, but
they'll play. It's baseball.
Oh, yeah.
They'll play. I'm assuming they'll play. I shouldn't say that, but the air is not very good anywhere in the state of Washington. Now the Puget Sound area is going to get a little relief on Tuesday night into Wednesday. We're going to have to wait a couple more days on that. We're keeping our fingers crossed that something is going to happen. There is no rain at all in the forecast. Whenever winds we're going to get, northwest winds 7 to 11 miles an hour today. There is your forecast. Now it says 89. We're not going to get to 89. That's just not going to happen. It's just it's too gunky out there for the sun's rays to poke through the smoke and the haze to warm us up. We're at 59 degrees right now, Steve, with 67% relative humidity. We'll get to maybe 82 or 83, I'm guessing.
I checked the Pangbourne Airport website this morning. Looks like the morning flight got out, their first flight. Again, they had some delays yesterday at SeaTac due to the poor visibility brought on by the wildfire smoke, but they reopened operations last night at 9 o'clock, and they got that first flight in. So always a good idea to check your flight status before heading out, folks. So Horizon Air is operating just fine out of Pangbourne right now, but that could change.
And keep in mind, this air is hazardous. It's not good for anybody. Anything that likes to breathe, and you can count me in that group, it's going to stay hazardous for the rest of the day today and into Tuesday and who knows what. I wish I could give you better news. but I can't. Sorry, folks.
Check those air conditioning filters.
Please do, and go ahead and pick up those free masks. They're everywhere. Everybody have a good Monday, all right? Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.